out here miles from nowhere, there's a lot of things that I carry in my car that Linda and I depend on. A toolkit, an extensive toolkit, a tow strap, a medical kit, a tire repair kit, and a lot of other things that are in the car that you just don't see on the table here. But one thing that we learned to carry, we started doing it because we got in trouble, and that's when our glove box light got stuck on, and we were 40 miles from the nearest town, no cell service, and we had a dead battery. And in that case, we were lucky. We had an ATV with us, and it had a little tiny battery in it, and I took that little tiny battery and I hot wired it into the car with some jumper cables, and it had just enough energy to go, and the engine caught, because it just didn't have enough to turn the engine over. So ever since that day, I've carried a jump starter, and there's a jump starter like this in my daughter's cars, and in my son-in-law's cars, and my granddaughter's car, because we wouldn't go anywhere without these. And I've done numerous videos on different brands of these. This little thing here, you don't need to carry jumper cables and depend on somebody else to show up to start your car. This little tiny thing I've been carrying now for the last year or more, this particular one, this will start my car 12 times. And I mean, it'll crank that engine over fast, like 12 times. So this has always been in my kit. But I've got a new one of these that's even more useful that I want to share with you. First of all, just a word about my reviews. I don't review just anything. I carefully select the products that I review. And I always select them with you in mind, not my pocketbook in mind. Like, for example, on this particular product, I'm probably not going to make any money off it. If you do click the link to buy this, yeah, I might make a couple % on it, but that's not the reason for the review. The review is because I find it interesting, and it's also something that I believe in, these jump starters, and it's something that I always carry with me, and I think that you should too. That being said, let's get on with this one. This is a product called a GOOLOO GTX280Y. And it's designed to do many things. Now, Linda and I picked this up and started testing it about a month ago. And Linda and I have been on this road trip for over a week now, and I've been using it every day. And that's the thing about this. Normally, when you carry a jump starter in your car, you charge it up, you stick it in your trunk, and you forget about it. Then you pull it out a year later and find out that maybe it's lost its charge. Well, the more useful they make these, the more apt you are to make sure that it's always charged. This has been getting used every single day. I've always got something plugged into this thing recharging. Not only is it good for charging my phone and Linda's phone, which we do all the time, or our camera batteries, which are always plugged into this because there's like a half a dozen of them being recharged at any one time. The piezoelectric starter for my, I use a candle lighter to light our butane stove. That gets plugged into here. My laptop gets plugged into here. It'll run our refrigerator in the trailer. I'll show you how in a minute. But yeah, it's very useful, and it's designed to charge very fast. It does charge really fast. And then it's got a really good light on it. It's bright. And what I've been doing is at night, I've been setting this up like on its end, and I've been placing an empty plastic water jug on top, and it radiates light all around the back of the car. So even that's really useful. Let's look at the details on this. First of all, it comes with the unit itself. We'll talk about this in a second. Comes with a USB to a USB-C cord for charging. It also comes with a USB-C to USB-C cord, and this is really important. I'll show you why here in just a minute. This has to do with how fast this thing will recharge. Of course, it comes with the jumper cables to start your car, because that is its main function, is as a car starter. Got a carabiner hook in here. In case you have to hang this, it's got a nice strong strap on it with a stainless steel pin through it here. This is in case you got to hang it above in your engine compartment or something to use it, or for whatever else you might need this for. And I haven't used this yet, but I'm going to soon. This is a carry bag to put everything in. Keep it clean while it's being stored. There's the box. Let's talk about the unit itself. First of all, the display screen. I'm sorry, it is so bright here. I'm in the bright desert sun here, and it's going to make it so that these things don't show up very well. This is actually really bright. As long as you get it out of the sun, you can read this very well. I'll tell you what's on there. I'm going to read it off because there's so much on that screen. It shows the battery power percentage. It shows low current mode. I'm going to talk to you about low current mode because that's a special feature on this. It shows if you've got it hooked up correctly to the battery, plus or minus. It's got a battery low temperature reminder, and it's got a ready to start the vehicle notice. It says ready on it. And it also shows the charge power, discharge power. So it shows how much power you're using and how much power is coming in to recharge it. It comes with one other thing that I haven't showed you yet. I got to show you this. It comes with a AC power inverter. And I mentioned that I can run my refrigerator with this. Actually, the refrigerator runs just right off the DC port. So I shouldn't have mentioned that, but I can run my Starlink off of this. This is good for 120 watts. It's also got another USB-C here, or USB and USB-C here. And also, just because you plug it into the DC outlet here, you can still plug something DC, a DC accessory into here. So it comes with a 120 watt inverter. That makes this really useful. On the end, you can see where you plug in your jump starter right there, your jump starter cables. It's got a 5.5 millimeter DC out here, 10 amps. It's got the 2.4 amp USB port here and the 3 amp USB port here. And it's got this two-way 100 watt USB-C PW port right there. That's really important. Down here is where the where this plugs in your inverter, or you can plug something directly into here, like your refrigerator. This will run my 12 volt compressor refrigerator all day at the beach, if I was to go to the beach. They thought about a lot of things. For example, even the way this opens up. This pulls out and folds out of the way. I like that. Makes that really useful. And the same thing here. It pulls out and folds out of the way. And when it goes back in, it snaps in tight. And in this dusty environment that I'm in right now, that's really important. Now, these things, your normal power station, your Blue Eddies, your UPEs, all of those, when you're charging something that doesn't require a lot of wattage, let's say you're recharging your smartwatch, they'll shut off because they don't sense a drain, because you're only drawing out 1 or 2 watts, and these things will shut off. Well, this one, if you plug in something of really low wattage like that, this is the boost button here for starting. This is the on-off switch. Turn it on, and then hold these both for about 2 or 3 seconds, and it won't shut off when it senses low power. It'll just keep going, so it'll charge that smartwatch up. When this is important is when I'm charging up that candle lighter that only charges at like 1 or 2 watts. So I need to do that so that this will stay on. At least this has that feature, whereas most power stations don't have that. So that's really good. As for recharging, the battery in this is a little over 280 watt hours. And if you charge it with this USB-C to USB-C cable, you can put 100 watts into this. Right here. And you can charge this up in 2.8 hours. Now, how are you going to recharge this? There's a couple of different ways. My power stations have the USB-C ports on them, plug-ins, and some of my power stations will put out 60 watts and some of them will put out 100 watts. My Blue Eddy puts out 100 watts and it'll charge this from dead in 2.8 hours. Check this out. plug this into the cigarette lighter on your car, and this puts out 100 watts. It'll recharge this in 2.8 hours. I think that's pretty cool. That's really fast. Keeps this usable. So while you're using this in your car to run just about everything, you can recharge it up in a short period of time. Now what about starting your car? So I don't know if I should call this a power station that'll start your car or a car starter that you can use as a power station. It's kind of both. As for starting your car, it'll start a full-size V8 engine or up to 7-liter diesel engine. So it won't have any trouble starting your car, gas or diesel. And it'll do it like a dozen times. So that's really excellent, especially if you're stuck out, you know, in some beautiful place like this. For starting your car, all you would do is plug these cables in. Hook up the positive and negative to your battery. Hit the on button and go to start. If you're having any problems, hit the boost button here. And then this will put out 600 amps with a 3000 amp peak. So that'll get you going. I just find it really useful. And the fact that I've been using it every day, I think attests to that. Very useful. So it'll stay in the back of the car, not in the trunk. It's going to stay out where it's getting used all the time. And that's the main idea. So the price on this is going to be about $250, but the introductory price is going to be, I'm sure, a significant discount off of that. Check the video description below, and I'll make sure I've got a link in there for you. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I'm enjoying this item myself. See you around.